What is up, guys? We're back here with another video. It's Saturday, early morning. Got a head start on a couple things. I wanted to show you these Toomey pipes that I purchased a while back, probably about like a year and a half ago to 2 years ago. And they used to look really, really bad. So if you could see that, that's sort of what I was working with. It was actually way worse than this. There was a ton of pitting, really hard to get this stuff out. So I went through a few processes that I'll show you guys. The best thing that worked was probably the buffing wheel, steel wool, Mother's aluminum polish. I'll show you that. And also some WD-40, but takes a ton of elbow grease to get this stuff off. You can see I have the full pipes here. So I got the silencers plus the headers, and this stuff was really bad. I'm sure the guy bought it off, probably kept them outside. So they look pretty good, and I'm really happy with them. So one thing is, you could see, not sure if you can hear that, but we need to repack these silencers as well. So I already did one silencer. I feel like you should know what you're doing before you talk about it. So we're gonna go ahead and get a look at that. From the polishing side, I wish I would have got this on video and would have shown you guys what it looked like. If I do find one, I will post a picture now, but not sure I'll find it. So anyways, the best thing for us to polish those things up. So I used a variety of methods here, and I really wanted to understand what was the most effective. And there's a few methods that do work. So let's get started. If your pipes are really bad, you can always go with the trusted steel wool. You can do the number 03 coarse steel wool. This is a little bit more aggressive. It's gonna leave some scratches, but the idea is to finish it off with the super fine steel wool. If you want to use steel wool and WD-40 with a mix of Mother's polish, this is gonna work. However, it's gonna take you forever if your pipes are really, really bad. So this is probably my first choice. It's just the hardest to do. It takes forever to get some of that pitting out, the rust out. If your pipes aren't that bad, that's what you're gonna wanna go with. If your pipes are really bad, you're gonna wanna introduce this, a wire wheel. So I have a few different wire wheels. You can get one that is for a drill, and this works fine. It's just really hard to, it's really hard to, you know, hold the pipe and do that at the same time. Don't use these plastic buffing, whatever they are. You can find these at Harbor Freight. They don't work well. So the wire wheel I found out worked the best. If you wanted to get a bit cheeky with it, you could use sanding sheets. I didn't use a whole ton of this, but this was actually pretty effective. You start off with the 220. I used it with WD-40, and I finished it off with 320. So the process that I did is I went wire wheel, steel wool, and then you could see I did a little bit of sanding, not much, mostly on those harder to reach areas. But then I used a mix of black compound, brown compound, and white compound. So the black is the most aggressive. This is, I'd say, in the middle, and then the white is the finishing compound. So what you do is you essentially will mark the, you know, the wheel will start spinning. You apply some of the compound to the buffing wheel, and then I usually, you know, stayed on black for a while, and then went over to brown, and then this was my white finishing compound. I did introduce some green. That's a step below white. So if you were gonna have a progression, it would be black, brown, green, then white. That's how I got the pipes to turn from this with the wire wheel and some, actually Scotch-Brite actually works pretty well too, to this shine here. So they look pretty good. I've been touching them a lot, so they have some grease on it. The sanding paper worked well on the tips. and the ends here, but we're gonna go ahead and repack the silencers. Banshee sitting right there, so let's go ahead and do that. I got that one finished. Let me just show you the packing I got. I actually got this from Amazon. It was pretty cheap. Not a big, it's just packing. So what you really have to do is on the Toomeys, you pop out this clip, and then the cap will fall out. The cap will come off. I did take the silencer pipe off, so that's what this looks like. And we're gonna go ahead and repack these. Let me show you. So you can see this is still a bit grimy, but once we take this off, we're gonna go ahead and polish it up. The only way really to do this is to have some snap ring pliers. I got these on Amazon. I didn't really want to struggle with this clip using screwdrivers. Let's just make life easy. So let's go ahead and pop this clip off. All right, so we got the clip off. Really the best way to do it with these snap ring pliers. We're gonna go ahead and polish this cap off. You can see the cap comes right off. You do have a O-ring here that still looks like it's in good shape. And then you could see your inner pipe here, and this will slide right out. So you pretty much know you have to replace so that inner pipe comes out, and then you pretty much know you have to replace your packing if you can hear some rattling in the muffler. And yeah, you could tell there. She needs to be repacked. So ton of oil, it's dried up. There's no dampening, so you don't want a raspy, rattling sounding Toomey T5. Let's go ahead and get that back. So you can see here, the packing comes right out. I just took these pliers and it'll come right out. So kind of looks like a paintbrush or a paint roller, and that's going in the garbage. Inside, you just want to wipe it down a little bit. You don't really have to get it that clean. So we're gonna go ahead and just wipe this down. You can see it's not that bad. The oil from the two-stroke oil keeps this pretty lubed up. So let's go ahead and clean these edges up, and we'll be on our way. So you can see that's pretty clean. I actually just shoved some shop towels in there and moved it around with this pick here, so you could pretty much use a screwdriver, whatever you want, and it gets the majority of the oils and anything else that could be in there. You can see there's an edge there. That's a weld mark, so you can't really do anything about that. But let's go ahead and get this packing done. Okay, so we got our little workstation here. This packing comes in a full sheet. You're gonna take your core here and understand where you need to make that cut. So you could see we made our first cut here. And if you could see, you pretty much want maybe like a millimeter of room to play with on each side. So let's go ahead and cut this out. Before I cut it out, you can roll it up, and you will quickly notice you can get probably, that's one roll there, that's one roll, and then two rolls. What you'll quickly notice is, you could try really hard, that's not gonna go in. So what you'll do is you'll have to figure out, after playing with it, how much you really need. What you do notice is in this packing, when you roll it up twice, the center of the hole actually comes down. So you'll have to, play around with that a little bit. So let's go ahead and get this. The other note I will say is there's a beveled edge on one of side of the core. The beveled edge is going to want to be pointed towards the back. You can see it'll fit and seat in that hole once it's inside the silencer. So just a quick note there. Make sure you put this in the right. Okay, so we got the packing in there. You're just gonna stuff it in and twist with the core. You wanna make sure that the packing, that there's no gap because the core will slide in easier than the packing. So you're gonna wanna adjust the core and push it back a little bit as you're pushing in the packing. So like I said, make sure that the core fits into this insert hole. There's like a little beveled edge on the end of the core, so you're gonna wanna make sure that insert's all the way in. And you can see that the core is in, but it's a little offset, so you're gonna wanna finagle that. Feel free to throw in more packing to make sure that the core is centered. Okay, so you can see that's pretty much centered there. What happens next is you throw on your O-ring, your cap, and then your snap ring, and then let's go ahead and polish and clean some of this stuff up. Okay, so you can see the difference that makes. She's pretty shined up now, just with going the black to green, really. This is what you come out with. So let's go ahead and just clean up this snap ring. So I just take some steel wool, get some of that grime off of there. This packing, the fiberglass is getting into my arm, so it's starting to hurt a little bit. I'm getting a little itchy. And then we can just take one of these shop racks and clean up this O-ring here. Okay, so you're gonna wanna just pack in your, okay, so you're gonna wanna go ahead and just pack that in. I use an Allen wrench to just pick this in, and then a flathead just a screwdriver. As you can see, it pushes the core in without damaging it. So make sure this is centered up. We're gonna go ahead and put our O-ring there. That should seat well, and then you can go ahead and put the cap back on like so. So really nice when you have these snap ring pliers. You just come in here. Don't be afraid to really give it a good squeeze and then finagle it back into the pipe. And you can see she snapped back in. We're gonna go ahead and make sure that she's even with the other one because we are a little anal. So we're gonna rotate this so that the snap ring is at the bottom. Okay, so you can see she's at the bottom, she's looking good. And before we put the pipe back on, we're gonna throw on a little RTV here. But you can see she's packed up, no shake, she's gonna sound mint. So unfortunately, we did buy stickers from the Toomey store. However, everything seems to be sold out for the T5s and T6s. I did buy these. I thought they were the metal vinyl, or sorry, the metal aluminum that go on the pipes, but they're just vinyl, so these are pretty much useless. They're gonna burn up. I do have some of the original stickers on the way, so once those are done and on the bike, we can go ahead and get these mounted up. And we'll probably do a separate video showing you guys us rejetting and installing the pipes and doing like a before and after sound. So probably cut to the next one. All right, guys, we're back with another video. We have got the Banshee all torn apart. I am posting a separate video of when it goes on. I just want to show you the one last shine I'm going to do before I put on the pipes. So you can see these have been sitting a couple days. I've been touching them, greasy hands. We're just going to give them one last shine before we mock them up. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put them on today. There's a couple things I still need to do. I need to put RTV on the stingers that are mounted up to the silencers. We did get new gaskets. So you can see these gaskets are brand new. The ones that came off of it were pretty much shot and there was a lot of leakage. So we're gonna go ahead and, we updated those. We also have these tube connectors that will go from the stinger to the silencer. So we'll go ahead and put those on as well. And then I'm not sure, but it doesn't look like these silencers are gonna mount up. I'll probably need to buy some sort of adapter. I think the originals come with an adapter, so we'll see how that goes. But let's go ahead and mount up the headers, or sorry, polish up the headers and stingers and silencers. All right, guys, we are all done. We were able to put some RTV. So I'm using this red stuff. It's for high heat, ultra red RTV gasket maker. So just a small gasket because these do tend to leak. But we got the pipes mocked up. They are looking crispy already. Yeah, this looks really good. The mix of the red, gold, and white with the chrome pipes. We're gonna do one last polish with mothers, get those shined up as well. And then the next video will be with these Toomey pipes, installing these Toomey pipes. So I've taken video of that. We got the other silencer here. Like I said, it's gonna be a struggle to get, we're gonna have to find a bracket that will bolt on to the grab bar, but this is as far as we're gonna go. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you wanna see more videos like this, and then let me know what you think down at the bottom in the comment section. We'll see you guys later. Peace.